Do you know someone born in January? Or maybe that someone is you. There's something about January people that feels different. Not loud different, not dramatic different, but steady, controlled, like they walked into the world already carrying a quiet sense of responsibility. Think about it. While most babies are born into warmth and celebration, January babies arrive in the middle of winter. Cold air, new calendars, fresh expectations. The world feels like it's resetting, and somehow, so are they. Have you ever noticed how many January-born people seem older than their age when they're young? And then strangely younger when they grow up? They're often the mature one, the reliable one, the one who doesn't panic first. But where does that come from? Is it coincidence? Culture? Birth timing? Or something deeper happening beneath the surface? Let's talk about it. First, let's get something clear. Your birth month doesn't magically determine your destiny, but psychology does suggest something fascinating. Timing matters in developmental psychology. Researchers talk about the relative age effect, the idea that children born earlier in the academic year often appear more advanced simply because they are slightly older than their classmates. In many school systems, January-born children are among the oldest in their grade. What does that mean? When you're 5 years old, being 11 months older is huge. You're bigger, slightly more coordinated, slightly more verbal. Teachers may unconsciously treat you as more capable. You get labeled as responsible, smart, leader material. And labels stick. Children internalize expectations. If you are repeatedly treated as mature, you start behaving mature. Not because of astrology, because of reinforcement. Now pause for a second. If you were born in January, were you often the one asked to help the teacher? The one told to set an example? The one who learned early that being dependable earned approval? That subtle conditioning shapes identity. But there's more. January sits at the psychological doorway of the year. It carries cultural symbolism, fresh starts, resolutions, discipline, ambition. Society collectively enters goal-setting mode. Even if a baby doesn't understand that, families do. Parents may unconsciously project new beginning energy on your child. Our new year baby, a fresh chapter. It sounds harmless. It often is. But symbolism influences narrative, and humans live by narrative. Now, let's talk personality patterns. Studies on birth season and temperament, while not deterministic, have found slight correlations between winter births and certain temperamental traits, such as persistence and lower impulsivity. Some researchers suggest prenatal environmental factors, including light exposure during pregnancy, may influence neurodevelopment in subtle ways. Is it dramatic? No. Is it destiny? Definitely not. But human development is sensitive. Even small shifts matter. Have you ever noticed how many January-born individuals seem comfortable with delayed gratification? They don't rush. They plan. They tolerate slow progress. That trait alone predicts long-term success more than raw intelligence in many psychological studies. The famous marshmallow test by Walter Mischel highlighted how the ability to wait correlates with better life outcomes. January-born individuals often get socialized early into waiting, leading, organizing. But here's the paradox. Being the mature one can become a quiet burden when you're always the steady one. Who steadies you? Many January-born people report feeling pressure to have it together, to not overreact, to be rational, to handle things. Have you ever felt uncomfortable being messy in front of others? Like you're supposed to know better? That identity can create emotional restraint. Not repression exactly, just containment. You learn to process internally, to think before speaking, to absorb before exploding. This can make you excellent in crises, but sometimes distant in intimacy. Let's explore relationships. January-born individuals often present as independent. Not cold, just self-sufficient. There's a difference. They don't easily ask for help. Not because they don't need it, but because they learned early that competence equals safety. If you are seen as capable, people trust you. If people trust you, you feel valued. But value based on performance can quietly turn into conditional self-worth. Do you ever feel most lovable when you're useful? That question hits deeper than expected. Now here's something fascinating from lifespan development research. Older children in a grade are more likely to take leadership roles early, which increases confidence in public settings. Over time, this compounds. They get used to speaking up, organizing, being the one others look to. Confidence becomes rehearsed behavior. But what happens when January-born individuals enter environments where everyone is equally competent? University, corporate settings, competitive spaces. Sometimes there's a subtle identity shock. If I'm not automatically the mature one here, who am I? It's not insecurity. It's recalibration. Let's talk ambition. January energy culturally equals goals. Gym memberships spike. Planners sell out. There is collective discipline in the air. People born during this time often absorb structured thinking early. Many report loving lists, systems. Ordered control feels calming. Psychologically, structure reduces anxiety. The more predictable your internal world feels, the safer you feel externally. But here's another contradiction. Many January-born individuals are deeply emotional. They just don't advertise it. They may cry alone but show up composed. They may overthink quietly but appear decisive. This duality creates a strong outer shell with a reflective inner core. Have you ever been called intimidating when you were simply reserved? Or serious when you were just observing? There's often a quiet intensity. Let's introduce another scientific angle. Birth season and mental health studies have shown slight correlations between winter births and higher resilience markers in adulthood. The hypothesis? Early environmental challenges, even subtle ones, may prime adaptive stress responses. Not trauma, not hardship, just adaptation. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you regulate, and regulation is a skill. January-born people often excel at long-term thinking. They can zoom out. They think in years, not days. But that long horizon sometimes steals present joy. Do you struggle to celebrate small wins? Do you move the goalpost the moment you reach it? Achievement without pause becomes exhausting. Now, let's talk about humor. January-born humor tends to be dry, observational, slightly sarcastic but intelligent. Why? Because when you're wired to observe before reacting, you notice patterns. And humor lives in patterns. You see irony faster. You see contradictions quicker. But here's something tender. Many January-born individuals secretly crave softness, spontaneity, permission to be reckless without losing respect. They want to drop the armor. But armor became part of identity, and identity is hard to renegotiate. Yet, here's the beautiful part. Because they are comfortable with responsibility, they are often safe partners, safe friends, safe leaders. They show up. Consistency is their love language, not flashy, not dramatic, but unwavering. Psychologically, safety builds secure attachment, and secure attachment builds deep relationships. So while January-born individuals may not be the loudest presence in a room, they are often the emotional anchor, and anchors matter. Hold when storms hit, but anchors also deserve rest. Maybe the real psychology of being born in January isn't about ambition or leadership at all. Maybe it's about carrying beginnings inside you. Being born when the world resets might imprint something subtle, a sense that life is always offering another chapter. You fall, you adjust, you begin again, not loudly, not dramatically, just steadily. And maybe that steadiness is your quiet superpower. If you were born in January, maybe you've spent years being the strong one, the composed one, the planner, the one people rely on when things wobble. But strength isn't just about holding structured, it's also about allowing thawed. January sits in winter, but it promises spring. That's the quiet metaphor. You don't have to be permanent frost. You can be reset without pressure, ambitious without exhaustion, responsible without carrying everyone else. Maybe your gift isn't just discipline. Maybe it's renewal, the ability to start again without making a scene, to evolve without announcing it, to rebuild quietly. And maybe, just maybe, the next time someone calls you serious, you'll smile, knowing they're only seeing the surface. Underneath, there's warmth waiting for its season. If this resonated, stay curious. There's more psychology hiding in ordinary things than we realize.